Hello everybody, my name is Benji, and welcome back to Satisfactory, where I just realized that the music is still off from the big train building stream, which is what I'm recapping, plus, obviously, a couple of extra things that I've done off camera. But it's okay, I didn't do all that much. So to kind of recap on the map before we go on a bit of a train tour, we have connected up our train line. We had a little ending here by the sulfur node that now comes the whole way down through here and then meets up with the factory. We also had another line that would split off here that ended, and now that has a train spiral that goes up right here and over, but then it also goes down and around this area and meets up with the factory right here in front of us. And then we also had an ending to the train line right here that now comes up into the factory. And we also had a train line, I know, lots of train stuff happened in 4 hours, it was great, that ended like here. And now that goes through the dunes, splits off again, and goes to this nitrogen gas. And then will eventually go the whole way around, but obviously we haven't done that yet. And then it comes the entirety of the way down this river, meets up with an X junction here, which comes back, goes to the factory, and then we'll also be able to go into the swamp from 2 different directions. So, with all of that said and done, let's go on a little bit of a tour of the whole place. Shall we? I think let's shall. I think we're gonna start by going this way, because I can guarantee that this is all going to be new. And then we're going to go this way, because I can also guarantee that this is all going to be. So we come right down underneath here. There's a limestone node, but we're not going to use that, so it's not a big deal that it's covered up by the trains. I've harvested some like sommer sloops and things like that, just and then we'll wrap back around to the factory. You can see there's a junction. It's going to end up going in that direction, following along and ending up where it needs to be. This is the old Orange Heaven location for those of you that watched the previous series. This place was very important to us. There's lots of oil here, which will probably end up turning into more plastic and rubber at some point, which is why this junction exists right here for a train station. There is a SAM node under one of these 2 waterfalls. I don't actually know which waterfall. But that's something that we'll do eventually. Ooh, pretty! There's a sulfur node, which goes to the aluminum place. And then, of course, we come through the trees, which I actually left most of the trees intact because they don't actually mess with us at all. And then we get to go down the spiral. Whee! A little bit of minor clipping, but like, who cares? Who cares? It's a floating train spiral. And then we're gonna go this way, which is gonna take us right back the way we came. And I'm then gonna go and show off the dunes for just a wee bit. Oh, I forgot that one had that happen. I'll have to deal with that whenever I come back for that Caterium node, which will happen at some point in time. That's like an eventuality. You can see every now and then we had to use the cave train blueprint just to make sure that everything meshed nicely and didn't clip, like right here. There's a little bit of clipping back there, but that's fine. And then we come the entirety of the way back. And we make it to the factory. So this will be where the trains split off to go up to all their stations. But underneath the facility, we have all this nice glass so that we can see up into the facility. I think that's really nice. I went the wrong direction. Whoopsie daisy. But that's okay. Gotta get rid of those trees, too. I also kind of like the inset of the glass. I think that looks nice. But anyway, this goes down. And much of this we've seen before. Well, not this, but like much of that over there we've seen before. But that'll be where we're coming back from. A little bit of a wonkiness that happens there just because of the height differences that needed to happen. But that's okay. And then we come to the funkiest of every single one of my junctions. Most of my junctions are not, in fact, very funky at all. But this junction is a funky boy. And we like this junction because of the fact that it's super funky. So this bad boy is an X junction into a T junction, but it didn't like existing. so this exists in order to help out with everything here. So that's really fun. Essentially, what's happening here is we have the direction that we just came from, which takes us in between the Spire Coast and the Northern Forest, up this little corridor passage here. This guy, which goes along the top of the swamp, right here, it's gonna run along all of this and meet up down here. This guy, which goes into the swamp, way the heck over there. And then this guy, which goes around that side of the dunes, and this guy, which will eventually go around that side of the dunes, and meet up way over there. But yeah, no, it did not like to exist. So in order to make sure that every single direction was taken care of, I had to do some cursed things. So essentially, this guy can come in and go to the left. It can go to the right and then straight or left, or it can just do a big ol' wrap around like that. This guy can come in and go right, or it can go straight, and after it goes straight, it can either go straight again or left, or it can split off this way and go to the right. And then very similarly over here, this guy can go straight or left. It had no issues, but if it had to go right, then it can either go left or straight, and it kind of meets up. And then this guy could go right with no issues, left with no issues, or straight, and then straight and left. And then this guy could go right with no issues, straight with no issues, and then left, and then either big left again, straight. Which ended up working out quite well, in fact. I am quite shocked at how I was able to, like, fix it and make it look only slightly janky. I thought it was going to be way jankier than it actually ended up being. But you can see a really good example here of going left and then immediately left again. Very reminiscent of the 5 Whoppers and 5 more Whoppers. Or I guess it's rather 10 Whoppers instead of 5 Whoppers and 5 more Whoppers. But it's left and then another left instead of just a hard left. So whatever. It ended up working. So that's fine. And then yeah, this goes the entirety of the way around. We're gonna go pop in and visit the nitrogen node. I'm pretty sure there's a SAM node underneath this waterfall somewhere. There's something under that waterfall for sure. It beckons me. My gamer instincts are calling. But yeah, it's a very relaxing, very nice little train ride here. We are gonna go straight, even though it's kind of a dead end, just to see the nitrogen node, because nitrogen is cool. I won't show the other one, because I showed the other one in a previous recap. It's the entirety of the way back home. I have enough momentum to carry me for a minute. It's all the way back here. And I like, future-proof planned for that. I don't even know how many weeks ago at this point, but it was a long time ago I future-proofed for that. But here is nitrogen. I'm actually just gonna let that guy go, because here's nitrogen. There's also the void down there, which is cool. But yeah, nitrogen wells, alongside of a couple of other different types of wells, use this well pressurizer here, which is, you know, radio control unit, heavy modular frame, motor, alkylate aluminum sheets, and rubber. so kind of expensive, but not awful. And it pressurizes all of these little satellite node guys. You can see in here, it says like which extractors are connected and what the potential is if you connect every single satellite node. And of course you can, you know, jack that up as high as you'd like. Some of these guys are pure, some of them are normal. Like this guy's normal, so he's only doing 60 per minute. This guy's pure, so he's doing 120. If you fully overclock it, that guy goes to 300, that guy goes to 150, so you get a whole bunch. And those guys are split into 2 pipes, which go up and over and along here into a bunch of tanks. Wow, that waterfall is loud. And then all of these tanks, you know, split the fluid evenly amongst each other, gas, and then load it onto a train, which we will be using for the aluminum factory that we're going to be doing now. And then, yeah, the train loops around the outside, make sure it doesn't clip onto anything, and then it goes back to wherever it needs to go. I love the fact that it goes under this. I just had to. Literally, I just had to. Slight clipping there, not a big deal. We don't care. Doesn't have to be perfect. I'm working really hard on not being a perfectionist anymore. Being a perfectionist helps with some things, not with others. Why are you yelling at me? Hang on. That signal's yelling. Why are you yelling? What's your problem? That's a path signal. That's a block signal. Why are you having a problem? Huh. That was weird. Must have been like a visual glitch or something. Because obviously it was not, in fact, having a problem. Again, a little bit of clipping on the train line here or there. Some trees that could probably be gotten rid of, but like, who cares, right? Who cares? Nobody cares. Not a big deal. Nobody cares. We go through this very, very tight corridor here, just to make sure that we don't clip anything. We try to prevent clipping as much as we can, but like sometimes we just can't help it. And then, yeah, this is the stuff that's all familiar, because, like, there's the pure SAM node, and over there's the oil factory, making all of our rubber and plastic. Way the heck back home is home. Back that way is home. And I think I've showed this off before, this part of the train line. At the very least, I think I showed it off on a live stream, I think. But this goes between the dunes and the Spire Coast. This could have been smoother. I'm not super happy with it, but like at the same time, who cares? Not like we're gonna be on trains back here very often. It's mostly for our logistics network. And then we had this T-junction, which that way takes us back home. And then this way takes us back to the factory that we're going to be touring next. Also, yeah, all the Mercer spheres are still bugged. So, like, whenever you see a Mercer sphere that, like, doesn't have its casing anymore, like that one, that's one that you already got before the update happened. And some people are like, ooh, free Mercer spheres, let's go! And I'm sitting here like, but that's cheating. No, that's not how you're meant to play the game. Bad. So I won't be using those, basically, is the long and short of that. I won't be using. I will only be gathering Mercer spheres that have their casings still. Then, we finally end up back underneath of the new factory, going back this way, through the little cave here, over the little lake there. That lake is going to be working overtime for the water extractors. As are these guys. Ooh, a little secret. And yeah, the trains come up this little route here, in through the little gates there, and then they will eventually end up where they need to be. Which is perfect. And these train blocks are a little bit convoluted. Each of the stations has a path node coming through it. And then this guy's a path node. And it has, you know, block node, block node, block node. And this guy has a second path node, although technically I guess this could just be a block and a block, but whatever. And then there's a little bit of crossing just to have these guys run straight alongside here. But we've got our nitrogen gas, our oil, which will end up being our plastic and rubber, which is why there's 2 there. And then our aluminum ingots are also going to be as well. Then we have our coal all the way down there, our iron there, our sulfur all the way over there. And then we will eventually end up having our copper and limestone from at this little lake here. And then our quartz and our caterium from over here. And they're just gonna get probably belted like on the ground. Maybe I'll do some like foundation supports or something with those just to make it look a little bit nicer. But like I'm not super concerned about making it look the nicest possible. Because like it's literally right here. You know, copper, copper, copper. Limestone through the trees, you can kind of see it. And then over this way, use the quartz and the caterium. You can see the caterium belt already coming out of the cave there, because it's all down in the depths. And then yeah, here's the quartz as well. If you didn't see the live stream and stuff, just trust me. There's quartz down there, or no, not quartz. There's caterium down there. And then I've got all the trains ready to rock and roll. I'm gonna let them go on the live stream, so if you want to see that, come check it out. If not, then suffer, I guess. I don't know. Wait until the next recap when it actually shows them going, if you want to. And then, now we get to talk about all the things, because we've got all the resources coming in. Ready to rock and roll. Water's gonna like come up through the floor here. You can see the lake over there through the glass. Yeah, like right over there. And we are gonna be making a whole bunch of stuff here. And I finally have all the MAM recipes. And by all the MAM recipes, I literally mean all of the MAM recipes. No more rewards available at this moment in time. And it took me until literally the last one to get the thing that I wanted, which is crazy. So, to go through all of these and take a look at the stuff that we need for this factory, OC supercomputer is one. Not radio control system. Radio connection unit is another. And I think that was the only one other than the heat exchanger, which is the other one that we... Perfect. So, what we're going to be making here, which is going to be tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of fun. Where's my build order? I've got this big old spreadsheet open on the other screen. So, first thing that we're going to be making, according to the build order, batteries, using the classic battery alternate recipe. We're going to be making 60 of these guys per minute. Some of those are going to end up going to the drones that take all this stuff back home. Some of it is going to not do that and just go into a dimensional depot for like unlocks and occasional fuel and stuff like that. So that's first, because that's the only thing that uses sulfur. That's the entire reason why we have sulfur coming in. So that gets rid of that off of the bus. Then, in a blender, we're going to be doing the fused modular frames, just as a default recipe. Because that gets rid of the iron that's required for the heavy modular frames. Because if we remember, the heavy modular frames, we're using the heavy encased frames, which is modular frames. And if we remember the modular frames, we're using the steel frame alternate, which is reinforced iron plates. And if we remember reinforced iron plates, we're using the default recipe, which requires iron plates and screws, which are iron. I mean, there's alternate recipes that you can use to not do that, but like that's best recipe in my opinion, so we're using that. So that gets rid of the iron, take it off the bus. Then, the radio connection units, which use heat sinks, high-speed connectors, and quartz crystals. So quartz crystals is another thing that's going to be on the bus. That's why we need the quartz. High-speed connector is why we need so much Caterium. It's actually kind of ridiculous. And then heat sinks is, you know, the new heat sink recipe, which I can actually show us now. Heat sinks. Those under electronics? No, they're all the way down here. Aluminum casing and rubber. And aluminum casings, we have an alternate recipe. There it is, alclad casing, aluminum ingot, and copper ingot. So that's why we need so much copper, because we need a lot of those. Then the next thing is also in a blender. The cooling system, which is, you guessed it, more heat sinks, more rubber, which is more rubber, and then water and gas. So that's one of the other things that needs gas, because this guy needs gas right there. That didn't work the way I thought it did, and then this guy needs gas right here. And then the final thing that we're going to be able to make right now is actually the most complicated part for now, until we unlock some other things with this part. And it's made in an assembler, which is weird, but that's the power of alternate recipes. The OC supercomputer, which is radio control units, which guess what? We're going to be using that radio connection unit alternate. So yay, even more shit that we need out of this guy. More high-speed connectors, more quartz, more heat sinks, more. And then cooling systems, which you guessed it, heat sinks, rubber, water, and nitrogen gas. So that's going to be all of the heat sinks are for these two guys right here. Because yeah, this guy doesn't need it. So all the heat sinks are right here. Until eventually, later on, we get into the turbo motors, which I can't actually show. I think I said this last time. But I can't actually show turbo motors because I don't have them unlocked yet. But turbo motors require, who would have guessed, motors. So motors get made in an assembler with rotors and stators. And for both of those guys, we're going to be using the steel rotor alternate because it's cheaper, and the quick wire stator because it's cheaper. So that takes care of the motors, which is, you know, one part of it. Another part of it is cooling systems. So hey, guess what? More of these guys, more rubber, more heat sinks, more rubber, more nitrogen, and then also more radio control units, which is phenomenal because we hate that. We hate radio control because they're heat sinks and high-speed connectors. And high-speed connectors, I've only automated once, but like high-speed connectors, quick wire, cable, circuit board. Expensive. Don't like. But that is a-okay because it's going to be great. Gonna be phenomenal. But yeah, that is really the gist of it. So next stream, we're going to be able to, on Monday, go through and start actually automating all of this stuff, because I'll actually have, like, gotten all the resources, finally. And then we're going to be able to actually start automating things. So, like, we need 960 copper. So the copper belt that's going to be coming in here is going to be 3 of these bad boys, because these guys do 240 each. Actually, no, I guess it's going to be 4 of these guys then. Yeah, 4 of these guys for copper ingots, completely and entirely. And then the quartz, we're going to need a whole bunch of refineries to make the pure quartz crystals, because that's going to be a whole thing. And then the Caterium ingots. Oh gosh, don't even get me started on the Caterium ingots. Because we're going to be using the pure recipe, so, like, you know, we need 360 Caterium ingots. Divide that by 12, that's 30 refineries. 15 if they're 200% refineries. Possibly less than that if it's, well, definitely less than that. 30 So what, 360 divided by 30, how many is that? That's 12. That's still 12 refineries. Just for the Caterium alone. It's ridiculous. And then, you know, the sulfur is easy, the water is easy, the nitrogen gas is easy, the iron is easy, the steel is easy, because we only need 60 iron, and we need 120 steel, and we need 120 concrete, so that's going to be, like, 120 concrete is going to be, like, one of these guys, but, like, a little bit over. And then that'll be that. So that's all going to go by really fast. All of that, hopefully, will fit right here. And then everything can kind of like pop out of the end over here and then go up and then go over and just like branch off and make all the stuff that we need to make with it. But yeah, no, this is going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really excited for it, which is why this video is so long. But that is going to be it for this one. So I don't know how the hell I do that. So that is going to be it for today. So thank you everybody so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed. But without further ado, adios, sayonara, au revoir, hasta la vista, das vidania, auf Wiedersehen, ciao, and goodbye. Please have yourselves a fantastic rest of your day. Get some sleep if you need to. Don't forget to stay hydrated. This video is in the bag, and I'll see you all on stream. Lady all.